Right. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Doctor Who Autism Celebrations. And today I'm joined with Leslie. And Leslie and I are going to be speaking about Doctor
Everyone,
Who. It's going to be really cool. So, Leslie, how are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Um, so we we- we've been speaking for a little while. I think a couple of years, I
Yeah,
think, haven't we?
yeah, quite a few years. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like it's great that you can meet friends who like Doctor Who.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So with you and Doctor Who, like, when did you start watching it?
Oh, I started watching Doctor Who back actually in 2005 when I was little at the time. So like Christopher Eccleston was my very first Doctor, and to be honest, like that first episode, I was actually quite frightened in a way. I was quite scared because I was like, "What the heck are these window shop dummy things? What the hell are these? Like, what is this? Like, I'm more new to this TV show thing with Doctor Who." And then obviously that's how I went from that, and then obviously to David, to Matt Smith, and all the way to now. And obviously I watched all the classical ones like Troughton, Peter Davison, William Hartnell, Colin Baker, Tom Baker, and obviously Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy, which Sylvester McCoy is my favorite, same as Paul McGann. And obviously that's when I got to love Doctor Who thanks to the Doctor Who movie. In
Yeah.
a way, like Paul McGann, I wish he had more time as a Doctor because I loved his Doctor in the movie.
Yeah,
And
it was really good.
but I thought it was a really good film. It was really good.
But if we think about it this way, um, because Paul McGann did did the movie,
Yeah,
that was all in America. So
yeah,
if they continued and he done his own series,
yeah,
that it like Doctor probably now Doctor Who wouldn't be like more. We get a lot of the filming in the UK, don't we? So
yeah,
it would be more the America, I think. So in a way, it's good that they had that stop of Doctor Who for a little bit. But I would love Paul McGann to get his own series still now.
yeah.
He
Well,
still
hopefully it
got it.
does. Obviously, like thanks to Disney Plus and stuff, which I think it's a really good step that Russell T Davis has taken with the BBC and with Doctor Who because obviously, like with Disney Plus, I mean, obviously with like Star Wars and Marvel, like you see like obviously Secret Invasion, Avengers Legends, you see like all these spin-offs coming out of like describing the characters, obviously Hawkeye and stuff, WandaVision. And obviously with the BBC, you can have spin-offs of Doctor Who, like Rose Tyler with Unit, hopefully Torchwood again, hopefully something about Sarah Jane again, who knows? Obviously describing like like Sarah Jane dies in battle and something, or she dies saving the Doctor maybe, or something like that maybe in the future, maybe something like that to pay a tribute to Elizabeth Sladen, which I think they should do. There's so much the BBC can do with Disney Plus. And I think obviously, because obviously I did put a tweet out to the BBC on Twitter when David first came back, and I said, maybe obviously Shooty should have his series and David should have his 14th Doctor Adventures. If David wanted to, of course, if he wanted to, no pressure there if he wanted to. And obviously, Paul McGann could probably come back. Like Torch could come back, as I said. The classic Doctors could have their other adventures, or maybe like they could put the redesigned digital series from the classical ones that they put out on YouTube. They could put those on Disney Plus and have the fans watch those. And there's so much Disney can do now with the spin-offs and stuff and with Doctor Who. So we can just wait and see, maybe.
Yeah,
To do all that.
yeah. I agree. I think I think it's something to look at that they need to have these spin-offs in place now because Doctor we
Yeah,
only get like we're used to getting Doctor Who once a year and then we wait a year. Like for example now we had the Power of the
yeah,
Doctor in October just gone and the next episode Doctor Who won't be till November. So we haven't had a series. Like we're getting these specials, but we haven't had a series. Which, but
yeah,
I think from those specials, Doctor Who will be more frequent. What we're used to.
yeah. They should do that. They should.
Yeah. Um. and then you'll get the series, and then you'll get hopefully a spin-off, which, like you say, Disney Plus is a good platform for that. But like you say, like you got Marvel, you got Star Wars, like you could have your own Doctor Who verse,
Yeah.
like you have, like you have that. But I have got to be honest, um, that I'm not that into the Marvel spin-offs.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not much of a fan of them, purely because I think, but my personal opinion with Marvel, I think the last Marvel film should have been the Endgame, because it's called Endgame for a reason, isn't it? Um,
Yeah. It's
and
Endgame.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Endgame, and then it's almost like they've just continued after Endgame with Spider-Man films are really good. I love the Spider-Man films, but other than that, I'm not much a fan of a lot of Marvel. I think it's gone a bit downhill over recent years.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I do agree with that because obviously, like, I mean, Secret Invasion, I watched that, and I mean, no offense to Secret Invasion, I did like it, I loved it, but it just wasn't my kind of TV series. Like, I watched it, the finale was like, I mean, no offense to the cast. The cast were incredible. They're amazing. Samuel L. Jackson's amazing. Emilia Clarke's amazing. They were all great. All my favorite actors and actresses were on that show, but it was like the finale was just terrible. It was just not as good as I hoped it was. And I mean, don't get us wrong, like the whole Super Scroll thing, I like that, but it was like I just couldn't get into the finale enough, and I was like, you know what, please just let this finish, let this end, please. Like, I mean, I love Marvel though. I can't
Yeah,
pull down Marvel. It's like I do agree with people's opinions on it because like Marvel has went downhill after Avengers Endgame because obviously like I love Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Benedict, like mean, I loved Hawkeye. Hawkeye was amazing. That TV show was amazing, which should have had more episodes, in my opinion. And obviously, all the other ones should have. Then, obviously, One Division should have had a season two because One Division was incredible. But Secret Invasion just it 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 should have been a tiny bit better, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. So
That
yeah, so this is the kind of thing you got to think of with Doctor Who having their
yeah,
spin-offs. Is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? Like I think it will be good if you start with just one. Start with just one,
yeah,
like you're even two. So you have two for the younger audience, like maybe
yeah,
like the Joe Grant Adventures or something like that. And then you
yeah,
get the old Sarah Jane band back together, like you got Sarah Jane's son, Rani, Clyde. Get them back because they're still involved with Doctor Who. And then you
yeah,
have maybe a unit spin-off, which could be the
yeah,
front of Martha Jones. Maybe she could be in that, or it could be in the 60th, perhaps. And then you've got like Kate Stewart back at the centre of unit as well. So that would make sense for unit to have their own spin-off. And it would be quite cool. And it has so many different people that could be in it as well. So start with them two maybe, and then see where it progresses. If you need more, I think once we only had Sarah Jane Ventures, we had the series called Class. Eventually, I think when Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, but it wasn't. It didn't go as good as people wanted it to. I think they had one season. Class did.
yeah. I love Class. I love that small series. I love that.
Yeah, that was.
They should have kept that going.
Yeah.
Because like
Um.
I was just obviously I did watch it and like it was quite a shock to see like because I didn't expect it because obviously you see this series and then it's like I wonder if the Doctor's going to show up and all of a sudden you see Peter Capaldi and it's like what like I just love when he showed up like I just screamed I was like what the heck like that was brilliant it was
That
just
was good.
amazing to see him.
Yeah, that was good. To see him there. But it's good when you do these spin-offs because you can have the Doctor have their odd appearance in the spin-off. Um,
Yeah,
that's what worked well with Torchwood because I watched Torchwood when I think in like lockdown, I first watched Torchwood in lockdown because I never watched it before when it was actually on. So I watched it all, and like you see Peter Capaldi in it, I found that was quite funny. He was in an episode. Um,
Yeah.
but like thinking about it, well, it did coincide with like the actual Doctor Who series, so they could do that with a spin-off. So say we had the specials, and then we have series 14, maybe let's say April of next year. I'm just saying April, between April and May, because for me that's a perfect time to have Doctor Who in
Yeah.
that period. I'm not a fan of it being other than it's the 60th, but I weren't a fan when Flux was around that kind of time. Like I like it when it's early on the year. So we've had Doctor Who. We get all hyped for the Christmas special. When there is one. Good. It's good to know there is one this year.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting. But yeah, and then it's almost like you haven't missed a lot of Doctor Who because you have the spin-off. Maybe you have Doctor Who in April. Maybe the spin-off is around maybe summertime. Maybe a bit longer than the normal series. So you might have a 15 episodes unit series, and that should go nicely into October. And then you've got only a few months to wait for another Doctor Who episode. So it'd be more or less, I think, now with the new era of Russell T Davies, we'll get more Doctor Who content.
Yeah. I mean, I think they should do the Unity VCUs because obviously we've seen Torchwood, and that was great. And obviously, I mean, like, I think one of my favorite endings from Torchwood was obviously like when you see Jack in the base, and all of a sudden, like you see like the hand like glowing. I was like, wait a minute, why is the hand glowing? Hang on. And then all of a sudden you hear the TARDIS, and I just couldn't believe it. Like I remember watching that episode when I was younger, and I was like, wait, hang on. Has the Doctor actually come back for him? Has the Doctor actually came back and got him? What the hell? What is going on? And all these thoughts started coming in my head. I was like, what the heck? And then obviously like Gwen was like, has anyone seen Jack? Where's Jack? Like, where is he? Like and I just love how Gwen was like Jack's disappeared, something's taken him, like someone or something's taken him, where's he gone? And the episode ended, and I was like, but then when you watch the Utopia episode, it makes sense. So that episode was the same when Utopia came out, and obviously how he runs after the TARDIS, like, Doctor, and he runs after him, jumps on the TARDIS, and obviously they go to the end of the universe. And that makes sense. So that episode was obviously linked to that episode, and it was kind of the same scene.
Yeah.
And after him, which I didn't realize until I watched the full mashup someone made on YouTube, and they connected the dots. And I was like, so that's how the episode was. But we didn't see it until we seen the Utopia episode, the continuation.
Yeah. It is very interesting how they do all that kind of stuff. But I think because Torchwood was very good, it was a good series. But I think it's going to be interesting, like how it all goes down with what series they're going to do. I think I wouldn't think they would do any series. They might record it, but they wouldn't. That you have series 14 first. We see series 14 first, and then we probably might get a spin-off after that. I think it's going to be interesting. Like the 60th, it looked very exciting. Yeah, you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I really am. I'm just really looking forward to it. Like I just can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's just, I mean, honestly, I've got so much to say about the 60th because obviously, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Jodie was incredible. She was amazing. And if Jodie, if you do see this, we love you because you were incredible. You were amazing. You were great. And people may have had their opinions on her, and they may have said, "Oh, well, the Doctor shouldn't have been a woman. The Doctor was a man for 50 or so years." At the end of the day, the Doctor is a Time Lord. The Doctor can be a woman, can be a man. The Doctor can be a teenager if you want it to be. the Doctor can be a young person if he wants. The Doctor can transform into anything, anyone that he wants. And it's like, you know, and I remember when I first seen the teaser when obviously when that football match came out when we did the finals with England, and I remember obviously the teaser aired, and I was like, oh, who are these characters? And obviously, I remember, obviously, I recognized Bradley Walsh, and I was like, oh wow, it's Bradley Walsh. Oh wow, he's going to be Doctor Who, which was very interesting to see. And obviously, and then you hear the music, and obviously, like all of a sudden, you see like the universe is calling, and then like the music is like dun 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 dun. You see Geordie appear, and then she smiles, and I remember like my reaction was so insane. I remember smiling when I saw Jodie's face. I just smiled. My face lit up. I smiled because obviously I remember Jodie from Broadchurch and obviously Attack the Block, all the other stuff she's done before Doctor Who. And I just remember like obviously seeing that teaser and I smiled. And I was just so happy. I was just so happy. And obviously like I've spoken to a lot of people like on Instagram like regarding like Jodie's leave, regarding like her generation into David, and and we did have a conversation on the group chat that I used to be in on Instagram. And obviously, a lot of people said obviously, we weren't happy about, Jodie's leave. We weren't happy about how she was treated, quote unquote. Like I understand that, I get that, but Jodie had her time. She was amazing. She was incredible. And it's like, and the fact that a lot of, I mean, I'm not going to be disrespectful towards other YouTubers. I'm not going to be, rude, but the way they treated Jodie with their YouTube channels and with their videos, I'm like, oh, Doctor Who is a caravan of garbage now. It's a lot of rubbish now. Doctor Who's done. It's gonna, get cancelled the same way it did years ago. Jodie's gonna no. Jodie didn't ruin Doctor Who.
No.
Jodie's acting was incredible. She was great. She was amazing. She was insane. And I've been a Doctor Who fan since I was 5 years old. All these amazing men playing the Doctor: Peter Capaldi, David Tennant, Matt Smith. All these amazing men we've grown up with, and I wouldn't be, so inspired, obviously, to do what we do on TikTok without David Tennant, without Capaldi, without Smith, without those amazing boys we've all known to love and know as the Doctor. I wouldn't be so inspired to do what I do, putting on the bow tie, putting my jackets on, doing the videos, doing the Doctor's mannerisms, so to speak, when I do my videos. And obviously, I won't be able to do those things without Capaldi. Like I said, David, Matt, I won't be able to do those things without them. And they've inspired my character. They've inspired me to do what I do. And I've always wanted to go to Comic Cons and meet Peter, David, Matt, and just sit down with them and tell them, you've inspired me so much. You've inspired not just me, a lot of people to do what they do. I put on, the costume, go to Comic Cons and act like the Doctor with other costumed doctors, and obviously Jodie inspired me as well because her acting was great. And yes, the writing in her seasons, I will put it out there. Yes, Chris Chibnall wrote Broadchurch amazing. I watched Broadchurch with my grandmother and with my mother. I'm not going to drag Broadchurch down. I love Broadchurch. David was amazing in Broadchurch. Same as Olivia Colman. All those cast were great. But the writing for Doctor Who, the way Chibnall did Doctor Who with Jodie, was absolutely terrible. The writing was terrible. The episodes were great, but the writing was absolutely terrible with Chibnall. And and I will say that, no disrespect to Jodie, it was not Jodie Whittaker's fault. It wasn't. Jodie was amazing. She was beautiful. She was incredible to see on Doctor Who. And I just remember when Jodie regenerated, I mean, like me and my fiance cried, me and my mother cried. Like her acting in that scene was so, like, just so overwhelming in a way. And I actually teared up watching it. And I remember when she was like, it's the only sad thing. I want to know what happens next. and I literally covered my face, and I started having tears going down my face. I was like, "Oh, Jodie, please!" I was like, "Don't do this to me. Don't." I was like, "Please, don't end it like this. Don't leave like this. Come on." And I cried, and
Yeah.
obviously, right then, Doctor whoever I'm about to be, tag, you're it. And that music and the way she regenerated was amazing. And
Yeah.
all the news articles were coming out. Oh, she shouldn't have regenerated on a cliff. That's not very safe. It's not very. No, 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 no. That was green screen. That wasn't an actual cliff top. It was green screen, for crying out loud. It was green screen. It wasn't an actual. Do you really think the Doctor Who team would put a TARDIS on a cliff top and put Geordie near a cliff? No, that's just like ruining her safety, so to speak. No, it was green screen, but they made it look so realistic. Like people's minds were baffled, and they were like, "Oh, they actually done it on a cliff. That's going to affect people's mental health. That's going to affect, you know." And the way the media did that, I was like, guys, come on. Like, that's just being disrespectful towards Geordie's final episode. Have some respect.
Yeah.
Have some, have some class, have some respect. But obviously, I'm not going to get into the whole news media thing. That's a whole other story. But, like, the media does what they do. They put out any article for money. And, I loved Power of the Doctor, the Cyber Masters. But the Cyber Masters, in my opinion, were a great thing. And the fact that a fan actually made that idea happen, and I will call that fan out. Like, buddy, that was an amazing idea. And the fact they implemented that into Doctor Who was amazing. And they took the fans' idea and put it into Doctor Who. I mean, yes, people have their opinions about that. I'm not going to argue about that. Cybermen regenerating, yes, a bit weird, a bit strange. But to me, I'm glad they did that because that made the Cybermen look more powerful, more scary, more frightening.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, the Cybermen can regenerate now. They can't die. They're immortal. And I'm glad they did that because the Cybermen deserved an upgrade. And the fact they made the Cybermen regenerate was just insane. And
Yeah.
obviously when Jodie started regenerating, I remember sitting on the edge of my seat and so did my fiance. I mean, just beside me right now. And like I mean, even she'll say, like like we were like we were like on the edge of our seat, and I remember I was like, okay, who's it going to be? Is it going to be David Tennant? Is it going to be Ncuti Gatwa? Is it going to be Matt Smith? Is it going to be Peter Capaldi? It's going to have to be an old Doctor to come back to rebrand Doctor Who and obviously bring on the 60th. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? And I remember Jodie started regenerating, and obviously the clothing started changing. I was like, hang on a minute. Who is this? Wait a moment, wait. Who is it? And all of a sudden you see the blue coat. I was like, okay, blue jacket, you see the tie, you see the shirt. I was like, wait, we know a doctor who wears an overcoat, a tie, and a shirt. Wait a minute. And all of a sudden we see David's face. And I remember my fiance screamed, I screamed, I cried, she cried, my mother cried. And obviously, and I will say I was going through a hard time during then because obviously my grandmother passed away from cancer in the brain. So obviously, I was going through a difficult time then. And obviously, and it is a very tough subject to talk about, which I'm not going to get into, but obviously going through a rough time, going through a hard time, going through a very difficult time where my mental health was so bad and I was suicidal, my depression was so bad. And obviously seeing David Tennant come back gave me a sense of happiness, joy. Like it kind of like brought me back in a way, and it made me remember obviously the old days with David, and it made me feel like David was never gone. It made me feel like he never left.
Yeah.
And obviously, I love the new costume, the blue coat. I love the new costume. It's a great addition to
Yeah.
obviously from 10 to that one. And obviously, as I said, like seeing David come back, going through a hard time, then it brought a sense of joy. And obviously, you know, And I remember, like, obviously when she regenerated into David, and I was like, okay, what's he gonna say? What line is he gonna say? And I remember talking about it with my fiance and with a lot of people. I was like, I know for a fact David's line is gonna be, I know these teeth. You know, the whole what? And obviously the whole what? And I was like, I know for a fact he's gonna say that because all of us fans growing up with David, we love the what? Like what? What? Like we love that. You know, I know these teeth. And obviously, you know, when David did that, that made me think of, you know, Christopher's regeneration into David, like new teeth. That's weird. And I was like, hang on, wait a moment. I know these teeth. New teeth. That's weird. I see what they did there. And I just thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
And obviously when Shooty got announced, like again, obviously I'm familiar with his work, obviously sex education and all the other stuff he's done. And obviously it was just so weird though, because obviously with Matt Smith and obviously Christopher Eccleston, I didn't know who Christopher was. And obviously, you know, like I was like, oh, who's this guy? When I watched Christopher Eccleston, I was like, who is this guy? He's kind of new. Who's he? His doctor was great. His work was obviously all the other like West End theatre plays he's done in Casanova and obviously the Catherine Tate show. So obviously seeing them and obviously and then seeing him in Doctor Who, I was familiar with his work. So I was like, oh, it's David Tennant. Wow, it's David bloody Tennant. Wow, like that was great to see. And obviously Matt Smith. Matt Smith, I wasn't very familiar with his work. I knew nothing about Matt. So obviously seeing David Tennant and then seeing Matt Smith, I was like, because I remember watching the TV and obviously seeing Matt Smith's Doctor when the TARDIS was crashing, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? No offense, Matt. No offense, Matt. I was like, who's this guy? Who's this dude? But then straight away, as soon as I watched the 11th hour, I loved Matt Smith. Straight away, first episode, I loved the guy. Loved him. And obviously, you know, watching him all those seasons, you know, as I said earlier, he inspired me to do so much, like on TikTok, and obviously do videos with Amy Pond cosplayers, other 10 cosplayers, War Doctor cosplayers, Peter Capaldi cosplayers, you know, River Song cosplayers. So, like, if it wasn't for Matt Smith, I wouldn't have done all this without him. And, you know, that's why I thought I'd talk about him a bit because he just gave me so much to be inspired by. So, watching him and doing the stuff I do, and it, like, he'll always be the Doctor and he'll always be my Doctor, as well as Christopher, David, Capaldi. They always will be. Jodie Whittaker will always be my Doctor as well. I don't care what anyone says, she always will be.
Yeah.
And obviously seeing obviously Ncuti Gatwa, I was quite, you know, familiar with his work straight away. So obviously seeing him announced as a Doctor, I was like, wow, like I'm familiar with him. Straight away I loved him. Like as soon as I seen his picture and obviously I watched his Q&A on YouTube about Doctor Who and what his description of the Doctor is, and straight away I loved him. I was like, wow, I like this man. I like this guy. I like him. I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait for his Doctor to see how he is. And
It's so
obviously with Russell,
exciting.
yeah, and like with Russell's description, he was like his audition was outstanding. He blew us all away, and you know, and the fact that people are questioning Russell T Davis, they're questioning him, and I'm like, there's no need to question the man, the guy, Russell T Davis. There's no need to question him. He's made Doctor Who what it was. Bringing him back to BBC made the best decision they could, and obviously you know, I'm glad they brought Russell back. And I remember seeing the news. I remember seeing it on the media and I remember seeing it on the news. And I just remember seeing that. And I was just so full of joy. I was like, the legend is back. The icon, Russell T. Bloody Davis. I was so overwhelmed. I just couldn't believe it. And like, seeing all this with Doctor Who that's coming out now, I love it. And obviously with Ncuti Gatwa, with him being, with him being black and with him being gay, I love that. And the fact that the LGBT community has finally had what's the word like what's the word I'm looking for? Like has finally had it like sorry, I've lost the word. You know what I mean? Like it's finally got like that's a representation, sorry. Apologies. Representation. I lost the word there. Representation and obviously, and seeing that he's black with that as well. I love that. And the fact that, he's black, gay, he's open about his sexuality. Again, I love that. And the fact that he's being brought in as one of the most iconic actors in the world, one of the most iconic actors in the TV series for 60 years, is is just incredible. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I think what Doctor Who really does, it helps us through the hard times. Like if something's
Yeah,
happened, like you were saying,
yeah,
and with Jodie, I really liked her as well, Leslie. I loved
yeah,
her, but towards the end, I did fear for Doctor Who because the views were very low
yeah,
and everything like
like,
that. And then Russell
yeah,
T Davies, I think he thought something's not right here, and that's why he's come back. He kind of to save the show, I guess, bring David Tennant back, bring
yeah,
it probably people we watched as a kid. And yeah, Shooty Gatwa is probably the best casting they could have done, and
yeah,
he was the last one. They already made their choice before Shooty walked in the room. So and he must have done something really good to say that he is going to be the Doctor. But I'm so
yeah,
excited. I'm so excited to see what he's doing. Like it's
yeah,
gonna if you want to cosplay him, you're gonna have a pretty hard choice because there's I think a new costume every episode. So
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
a
gonna be
hard one.
quite a hard one. I'm gonna have a lot in the wardrobe. I'm gonna have a lot in the wardrobe to look at with that one.
Yes,
But
definitely.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it was just incredible to see that Shooty was announced. Like it's just great, and obviously like the fact that David and Shooty are so familiar with each other, and the fact that Shooty loves David as we do, and like the fact David inspired him as he inspired us is just a whole nother level. And it's like I watched this interview about David, and the way he was speaking about David, I was nearly brought to tears. I was like, wow,
yeah. He
like
said he wants to
and
do his own version of how he said within his Doctor or just him in himself and acting. He likes to be
yeah,
so lots of full of energy like David does. Like he's full
yeah,
of energy and he wants to be like that, which I love because David Tennant's so good in acting everything he is. And Ncuti Gatwa,
yeah,
I like when they cast doctors because we don't really know much about them really when they're
yeah,
cast. Like Matt Smith, probably didn't see him anything. David Tennant, not really. Jodie, I saw him one season of a series called Trust Me,
yeah,
but prior to that. But yeah, it's good to how they cast. They give new talent a chance that aren't as popular as maybe
yeah,
your Harry Potters or other people who are known. So yeah, so excited to see how Shooty does.
yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see him as well. And obviously, like, I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, Russell did say there's going to be a lot of surprises with the series in the future, moving on to Doctor Who through the next few years. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Hopefully, past companions, flashbacks, maybe cameos. Who knows? And I mean, it's like with with David's regeneration, talking about that and bringing that up, David's regeneration into Ncuti Gatwa. We don't know how that's going to go down. We don't know how that's going to end. Some are saying it's going to be the Christmas special. Some are saying it's going to be the 60th. And if David does regenerate in the 60th, I say let's go with that. Like if he does, then that's going to be a good ending for him. But in a way, I would rather him like regenerate like maybe at the ending of one of the final episodes, and then Ncuti Gatwa have the Christmas special, and that could be Shooty's first episode. Like, oh, this is a new face. What the hell? Like, what the hell's going on here? I've regenerated again. This is new. Oh, and like it'll be a whole episode of him recognizing himself as a new doctor, running around, like running into danger or whatever, and he's gonna have to come to terms with being this new incarnation, this new regeneration again, and that's gonna be quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
But David did regenerate in the Christmas special, at the ending of the Christmas special, then that would be great to see as well. But like we don't know how that's going to go down, and I just hope that obviously, from I don't want to go
Mm.
to David's doctor crying, and then obviously I hope I hope it is emotional because in a way I want it to be emotional because obviously David did say that sadly David did say that apparently I don't think it's true, but apparently David did have an interview about his future in Doctor Who, like other anniversary specials, if he does come back again in the future as he did in Power of the Doctor, maybe a few more episodes in the future. And he said he doesn't know if he wants to do that again. He doesn't know if he wants to come back again. He might retire from Doctor Who, and this is going to be his last. But I doubt it because we all know David loves Doctor Who. We all know he loves being the Doctor, so he might come back again. I hope he does. But if David's going to be gone from Doctor Who for a very, very, very long time, then standing ovation to him because obviously he's been in Doctor Who for so long, and to see him come back again is just really inspired me, made me feel good in seeing all the trailers and just seeing him again in those trailers, like
Mm.
it's just insane. And I just hope his regeneration is going to be, a very happy goodbye, emotional in a way, very emotional in a way, but also happy. Like I'm ready to go now. I can go. I'm ready to leave. I've made peace with, the mistake with Donna. I'm happy I can go now. I fixed my mistake that I never meant to make. I'm ready to go now. I can go in peace. I can die again. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And I just like because I said it to my fiance, like I hope he smiles, his hands start glowing, he breathes, like I'm ready to go. He smiles, he closes his eyes, and he just lets himself go and he regenerates. And I just hope he does that because that'd be a very happy ending for him. And I just hope that he does get that. And like we don't know where it's going to be in the TARDIS, outside of the TARDIS. We don't know yet, which I hope he did. I mean, I've said this to a lot of people. I hope he regenerates like on the floor because obviously Hartnell did that with his transition into Troughton. So obviously, if they do go classical again and he regenerates on the floor, I think that'd be a good idea to
Yeah.
see a classical regeneration.
Something different we haven't seen in a while. But the thing what I think could happen, Leslie, is
Yeah,
because Shooty is saying in the trailer the only thing we have seen him say is I don't know what the hell's going on here.
yeah,
Well, what I think is happening at this moment in time is like the Doctor is having like the 14th Doctor's having problems with his regeneration. He doesn't
yeah,
know who he is, so he midway maybe through the Star Beast, which is going to be
yeah,
the first special, he regenerates, but
yeah,
for a glimpse into Shooty, and then it still goes wrong, and then he's having past faces like you might have a Matt, you might have a Peter, you might have it even some of the classic ones just popping in for a little brief appearance, and then because Shooty is back like that,
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
presuming it's the toy maker's work here. What is the toy maker's going to do is separate them, the Doctor's through his own body. So Shooty will be out face to face with the 14th Doctor, David Tennant.
yeah.
Donna's there looking as well. Um, and they actually have a conversation in the 60th.
Oh,
And
I can't wait
I,
for that.
I
What
think
they
that's
do.
what will happen. But this is
Yeah,
what leads me to think that potentially I don't think we'll see David regenerate because I think what he'll do, he'll say to shoot it, I think it's my time to go now. And then he'll go it he'll walk he'll walk into maybe like the sunset or something like that the 14th Doctor, and he'll be
yeah,
saying goodbye rather than him regenerating, and then
yeah,
shoot he just gets on his TARDIS. I think that's a
yeah,
possibility,
yeah.
that it might not be a regeneration, really, but if it was I would love it like you said it to have it like a Hartnell effect like I'm on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, or they could do that. Like we just see the 14th Doctor walk away, like it's right, it's time for me to go now,
Mm.
and he just just puts the screwdriver down.
Have it back on the beach.
Yeah, like just puts the screwdriver down, and then Shooty picks it up, and he's like, "Well, it's my time. It's the Doctor now." And he runs into the TARDIS, and then it just disappears. So, I mean, we'll see when it gets to that. But whatever they go with, I hope they go with whatever. But
Definitely.
obviously, like with the whole, I mean, talking about the screwdriver, which I want to get. Like honestly, I really want to get that screwdriver, but the pricing is just insane at
Crazy,
the
isn't it?
moment.
It's crazy
Like,
what it's going for now.
yeah, but like the reaction to that has been mad, and obviously with the different settings in the different colors, like green, yellow, blue, red, it's pretty obvious that we're going to get past regenerations in past Doctors in the 60th, because obviously why would the screwdriver have quote unquote secret color settings that we don't know about until you open the screwdriver up? Oh, it turns green, or it turns yellow, oh, it goes back to blue, or it's green, red, whatever, or it's yellow. Well, yellow's Geordie's, red's, well, we all know red's River Song, so I don't know what that's doing in there. Obviously, green being Matt Smith, blue being Peter David being the blue, Christopher Eccleston's being the blue. So we don't really know. So we could obviously see potentially past faces. And obviously, I think obviously David did say as well. There's gonna be a lot of crazy moments in the 60th, surprising moments, shocking moments, and he's keeping very tight-lipped about it. So I think that there is going to be cameos from very old past faces
Yeah.
in this.
It's gonna be
And
stuff
I
that
think,
we don't think is gonna happen.
yeah, and I think with Screwdriver, like we said, with the colors, I think there is going to be past regenerations coming to and from. I think this, because obviously they're calling David's 14th Doctor the Bridge Doctor. So I think with this, he's having an identity crisis. I mean, obviously you see it in the trailer, like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know who I am anymore. So with that, he could potentially, regenerate into Shooty, or Shooty could step out of his body. Can someone please tell me what the hell is going on here?
But do you
Looks at
think,
David.
Leslie, you think
Yeah.
that this might be the Meta Crisis Doctor?
In a way, yes. I've spoke about that theory with a lot of people. In a way, yes, because why would Geordie's Doctor regenerate into a David Tennant Doctor when we've already had number 10? So it's like, why would David come back, so to speak, and be a 14th incarnation with the same face? Yes, we've had it in the Doctor Who comics. The Doctor having a regeneration crisis, it regenerates into, past Doctors and stuff like that. Obviously, Paul McGann's Doctor was in the comics. Sylvester McCoy's Doctor was in the comics because the Doctor had a retro regeneration problem. So obviously, they could very much do that in the 60th. But I think obviously, like David said in that final episode of season 4, with obviously until the end of time. Obviously, I look like him, think like him, same memory, same thoughts, same everything, except I've only got one heart. I'm part human. So obviously, I look like him, think like him, same memory, same thoughts, same everything. So I think with that, in a way, I think the human meta crisis, David Tennant Doctor, it's like for example, it's like, in a way, I'm referencing again. In a way, it's like the CW Flash show. In a way, it's the same thing as that. Salvatore Barry Allen, temporal duplicate, human meta crisis Doctor, duplicate of number 10. So obviously, potentially, I think this 14th Doctor regeneration could potentially be, a Time Lord version of the 10th Doctor, but he came into the 14th. And that's how we get I don't know who I am anymore. So I think the meta crisis has a lot to do with number 14. I think it does, because if you think about it that way, the meta crisis Doctor could have got a thought in his head. Hang on, wait, the other me is regenerating. It's going into my face. Wait a moment, wait. And he sort of might have, which I don't know, but could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, I think it's a real huge possibility, because I think we could see the hand in it as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a really huge possibility, because I don't know if you saw it. It was a little while ago, but on the Doctor Who
yeah,
page TikTok, they shared they're saying that the Doctor now and the Donna now, like and now and then, and what they did was they put the Meta Crisis Doctor on there as the Doctor now, and then what they done, they put Donna now and Donna now.
yeah,
So they didn't do Donna before because she forgot everything. So I think it's a real huge possibility that this could be linked in with the 14,
yeah,
like, by the Meta
yeah,
Crisis Doctor. Because if you think about it, like the Doctor can't, like the 10th Doctor
yeah,
looks a little bit different to the 14th, because like the Meta Crisis Doctor can actually age.
yeah,
That's something that they can do, and I
yeah,
think that's it would make sense. It would make sense. So it could even give the like the hit in the future, if David did come back again, like he could have the choice if he wanted to come back as the 14th or the 10th. I think.
yeah, yeah. They could
Uh,
do that. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll wait and see.
yeah. But Leslie, I've got a question for you.
Yeah,
Um, I'm very intrigued what you think of this. So, as we know, the 60th specials have got three specials, like the Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, and the Giggle. Um, what would you rather? Would you rather the specials air day after day? So you got the Thursday, the Friday, and the Saturday, or would you rather they air weekly? So we'll say we have it on the Friday the 23rd, the following Saturday, and then the Saturday. So the special would lead into December. What would you rather?
oh, I think, I think yes, that idea. I think that'd be a good idea. Like every single week, like every Saturday, every week, and then it could, like, obviously, like you said, potentially lead into December, which is a good idea. And obviously, we could see, David one more time in the Christmas special if they go with that, or if not, whatever. Or we could see shooting the Christmas special, whatever we get at this ending, which we don't potentially know of yet, which I'm looking forward to seeing. But I think they should do that, because obviously I don't want to be, like 60th anniversary part two returns, like, like a couple of weeks after. I'm like, no, like I want to be every week, so we get each part of the 60th, and then we can clear it all up and then be done with it, and obviously the Christmas special. And so I think they should do that. I think they should do that. Go into December, in the final episode being in December, and obviously the Christmas special. I think with the final episode, I think they should put it either December 22nd, December 23rd, maybe Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, or a few days before Christmas Day, have the final episode, then the Christmas special, or Christmas Eve, have the final 60th episode, then the Christmas special the day after, which I think would be really good.
Yeah,
And that means we've had like Doctor Who content for a whole 2 months, and then next year, 2024, come season 14. So I think they should potentially do that.
yeah. I think I would like it to be like on the 23rd, which is going to be a Thursday. So whatever happens, I think on the 23rd.
Oh, he throws.
Whatever
Oh,
happens, Leslie, on the 23rd will be the first episode, I think.
yeah,
So we'll get it on the 23rd, which will be interesting because we're not used to having it on a weekday.
yeah,
That'll be the first one. I think we missed the weekend of that Thursday, so we
yeah,
missed the Saturday and the Sunday. We don't do them. So perhaps we could have it on the Saturday, the following Saturday,
yeah,
which will lead into December, and then you'll have it either the following Saturday or Sunday, perhaps. I'd rather a Saturday. I always liked when Doctor Who was on a Saturday, and then you'll have a little break to kind of promote the Christmas special. You would just so, but you wouldn't have to wait long. But because I think we have it day after the other, you're not there's not much to talk about. Say if they go in cinema, you're gonna have to watch the first one and then the second one and the third one exactly on those days. So I think it's better today to do it kind of that way, weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to say anything or about Doctor Who? That's not the answer.
Hello.
I'm just really excited to see what Doctor Who's got to offer next. Like I've been a fan my entire life. My mum has been a fan. Like that's why me and this one love Doctor Who so much because we both grew up and seeing David Tennant like coming back and it's just amazing that he's come back for the sake of the fans because I know he's done it for like the fandom. But I'm looking forward to see what Shooty Gat has got to offer as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So,
yeah, very exciting. Yeah.
But yeah, we are. Me and my fiance are looking forward to that. You really are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be fun to see Shooty Gat. It really is because obviously with him, it's like, he's a great actor. He's got. I mean, obviously watching him in Sex Education, and like obviously that scene when he was like, "I think we've just about had enough of you now. Go away, goodbye, like bugger off, goodbye." Like I can just imagine him like coming up against a Dalek or a Cyberman. I think I've just about had enough of you now. Go away, bye bye. Like please leave. Get out of my face. Go away. You're annoying. Like, I can just imagine him doing that, and I swear if he does do something like that, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna end up laughing. And I hope he does something like that.
I think it's gonna be funny. He's gonna be funny. He's gonna have a serious side to him. I think it's gonna be good. He's gonna have the Doctor about him. You can even see it in Sex Education in ways. And the good thing is that you'll see Sex Education. I think it's September, so next month before Doctor Who. We see him in Doctor Who, so it's very exciting. Very exciting stuff. So Leslie, last thing, what is your favourite quote?
Oh, crikey! Oh my! Oh gosh! This is gonna be quite a long ending. I got a lot of favorite quotations. Oh gosh.
what? I give you
to actually, you know what? To be honest, if I had a memorable one, if I had one to end like one Doctor's era on a whole, it would be Jodie's Doctor, and that would be her regeneration in Power of the Doctor. Like her whole quotation was just beautiful. It was a beautiful ending for her. It made me cry, it made me emotional, and it made me smile at the same time because when she started regenerating, like, I mean, like to be honest, when she was like, "It's the only sad thing. I want to know what happens next," and she smiled and she started regenerating, I started smiling and I started crying. So I would say that one because it just made my heart melt. And obviously seeing her regenerate into David, and obviously the whole music arrangement was beautiful, and obviously standing ovation to the person that did that music because that was incredible, and obviously the whole regeneration to David, and obviously I know these teeth, that quotation as well. What, and obviously the hands on his face, and then what, and then that whole ending, and then the credits. That was just incredible. And like it was just incredible because obviously and introducing David Tennant as the Doctor, that just reminded me of Christopher's regeneration, and introducing David Tennant as the Doctor, and the fact that they put that on again, that was just mind blowing. It was just amazing. But yeah, two quotations to end one Doctor's era, Jodie's quotation of Who Generation into David, and then David's welcoming back quotation as the 14th.
That was
Those
a
are my
good one.
two favorite ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say every quotation from every Doctor, but I could go on with that. I would say every quotation from every Doctor, every season, every special, every series of Doctor Who, every single thing from Doctor Who, every quotation I love. But if I had to end one Doctor's era, as I said, it would be Jodie Whittaker and David's welcoming back quotation.
Yeah,
I will always
I
remember
agree,
that.
Leslie, because it's
Oh.
positive. I like when they leave it on a positive note, like Jodie did, like the 13th Doctor did. It was just really happy, really positive. And I like when it does that. I like when they're not too long as well. Like I didn't mind Peter's, but like the 12th Doctor's was really good. But I think it was a bit long. And I like when they're quick. Like the 9th Doctor was like you could say the 10th Doctor. He didn't say a lot, but yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks Leslie for coming on.
Thank you.
Glad
Thank
you've
you for having me on.
Yeah, glad you've enjoyed it. To anyone listening and watching today, we hope you've enjoyed it as well. Leslie will hopefully be joining a group episode closer to November, so for the 60th.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Close for the 60th,
definitely.
where it'll be that will be the second part of the series where fans will be joined, like kind of meeting new people. You get the chance to meet new people you might have seen on maybe TikTok and stuff like that. So it's going to be really exciting. And yeah, August, all new people haven't been on a podcast before, which is really cool. And then we get closer to November and the second part of the series. So thanks, Leslie, for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
It's been awesome.
Yep. It's been great. Thank you.